Arthur's Tooth by Mark Brown. Finally, Arthur had a loose tooth. He wiggled it with his tongue. He wiggled it with his finger. He wiggled it all the time. One afternoon, while Arthur was wiggling his tooth during the math class, he heard a loud scream. Francine jumped up. "My tooth just fell out on my desk," she cried. "Class, how many of you have lost a tooth?" asked Mr. Marco. Everyone but Arthur raised their hands. When Arthur got home, he didn't want any milk and cookies. "What's the matter, Arthur?" his mother asked. "I'm the only one in my class who still has all his baby teeth," he complained. "Don't worry," said his sister, DW. "Before you know it, all your teeth will fall out and you can get false teeth like Grandma Thora." Arthur persuaded father to make a special dinner for him. Steak, corn on the cob, and peanut brittle. "I can't believe one little tooth can take so long to fall out," said father. The next day, Muffy brought in a whole jar of her teeth for show and tell. "I got $2 for each one," she said. "One from my dad and one from my mom. I put it all in the bank to earn interest. I'm waiting for my investment to double." "Not me," said Francine. "I'm expanding mine." Later, the class saw a movie called Nasty Mr. Tooth Decay. "Between the ages of 4 and 7, the announcer began, everyone begins to lose their deciduous or baby teeth. "Everyone except Arthur," shouted Francine. The whole class laughed. Arthur slid down in his seat. He wiggled his tooth as hard as he could. In the cafeteria, Francine practiced her new tricks. "Look," she said, "I can keep my teeth closed and still drink through a straw. And I can squirt water too." Everybody lined up for a squirting contest. Everybody except Arthur. Babies with baby teeth can't squirt water. By the next day, Arthur was convinced his loose tooth would never fall out. His friends tried to help. Buster brought carrots for Arthur's lunch. Sue Ellen showed Arthur how to put races over his teeth to make it look as if some were missing. The brain invented a special machine. "It's a tooth remover," he explained. "Just put your head here, in here." Even Binky Barnes wanted to help. "I can knock that tooth out in 1 second flat," he said. That night, Arthur spent a lot of time in front of the bathroom mirror. He got up very early in the morning to wiggle his tooth again. "See how much looser it is," he told his parents. "That's it," said his mother. "You need professional help. You are going to the dentist today." "Going to the dentist?" asked Francine. "Boy, do I feel sorry for you." There were other patients waiting to see Dr. Sozio. "Sorry," said the nurse. "We're running late. Have a seat." "Arthur, you were smart to bring a book," said Mother. Finally, it was Arthur's turn. "I wish all my patients were as good as waiting as you are," said Dr. Sozio. "How old are you now, Arthur?" "7," said Arthur, "and I still have all my baby teeth." "I was 8 before I lost my first tooth," said Dr. Sozio. "Everyone is different." "Really?" said Arthur. Dr. Sozio examined Arthur's loose tooth. "This one should fall out very soon," he said. "Just wait." Arthur got back to school just in time for recess. Still have all your baby teeth? Francine asked. Then you can't be in the game. I'm the tooth fairy. Only people who have lost teeth can play. If you are the tooth fairy, said Arthur, I think I'll keep all my teeth. I can't wait. He started over to the softball game. Whoever I touch, said Francine, loses a tooth. She flopped her arms. The one who loses the most wins. Francine toured around and touched Buster. She toured faster and touched Sue Ellen. Touring even faster, she slipped and hit Arthur. Sorry, Arthur, Francine said, but I told you, no babies allowed. Arthur picked up his glasses. It's okay, he said. It's probably the nicest thing you've ever done for me. What do you mean? Asked Francine. Arthur just smiled. Can't You Sleep, Little Bear? By Martin Waddell and Barbara Firth. Once there were two bears, Big Bear and Little Bear. Big Bear is the big bear, and Little Bear is the little bear. They played all day in the bright sunlight. When night came and the sun went down, Big Bear took Little Bear home to the bear cave. Big Bear put Little Bear to bed in the dark part of the cave. Go to sleep, Little Bear, he said, and Little Bear tried. Big Bear settled in the bear chair and read his bear book by the light of the fire. But Little Bear couldn't go to sleep. Can't you sleep, Little Bear? Asked Big Bear, putting down his bear book, which was just getting to the interesting part, and padding over to the bed. I'm scared, said Little Bear. Why are you scared, Little Bear? Asked Big Bear. I don't like the dark, said Little Bear. What dark? Said Big Bear. The dark all around us, said Little Bear. Big Bear looked, and he saw that the dark part of the cave was very dark. So he went to the lantern cupboard and took out the tiniest lantern that was there. Big Bear lit the tiniest lantern and put it next to Little Bear's bed. There's a tiny light to keep you from being scared, Little Bear, said Big Bear. Thank you, Big Bear, said Little Bear, cuddling up in the glow. Now go to sleep, Little Bear, said Big Bear, and he padded back to the bear chair and settled down to read the bear book by the light of the fire. Little Bear tried to go to sleep, but he couldn't. Can't you sleep, Little Bear? Yawned Big Bear, putting down his bear book with just 4 pages to go to the interesting part, and padding over to the bed. I'm scared, said Little Bear. Why are you scared, Little Bear? Asked Big Bear. I don't like the dark, said Little Bear. What dark? Asked Big Bear. The dark all around us. But I brought you a lantern. Only a teeny-weeny one, and there's lots of dark. Big Bear looked, and he saw that Little Bear was quite right. There was still lots of dark. So Big Bear went to the lantern cupboard and took out a bigger lantern. Big Bear lit the lantern and put it beside the other one. Now go to sleep, Little Bear. And he padded back to the bear chair and settled down to read the bear book by the light of the fire. Little Bear tried and tried to go to sleep, but he couldn't. Can't you sleep, Little Bear? I'm scared. Why are you scared, Little Bear? I don't like the dark. What dark? The dark all around us. But I brought you 2 lanterns. A tiny one and a bigger one. Not much bigger, and there's still lots of dark. Big Bear saw that Little Bear was right. Big Bear was very puzzled. All the lanterns in the world couldn't light up the dark outside.
Big Bear thought about it for a long time, and then he said, "Come on, little bear." "Where are we going?" "Out." "Out into the darkness?" "Yes, but I'm scared of the dark." "No need to be." And he took Little Bear by the paw and led him out of the cave into the night. And it was dark. "Ooh, I'm scared," Little Bear said, cuddling up to Big Bear. Big Bear lifted Little Bear and cuddled him and said, "Look at the dark, Little Bear." And the Little Bear looked. "I've brought you the moon, Little Bear, the bright yellow moon and all the twinkly stars." But Little Bear didn't say anything, for he had gone to sleep, warm and safe in Big Bear's arms. Big Bear carried Little Bear back into the bear cave, fast asleep, and he settled down with Little Bear on one arm and the bear book on the other, cozy in the bear chair by the fire. And Big Bear read the bear book right into the end. Just My Friend and Me by Mercer Mayer. I asked Mom if I could have a friend over, 'cause I just don't want to play alone. There are so many things we can do, just my friend and me. First, we climbed the apple tree. I could climb higher if I really wanted to. Then we play in my tree house. My friend says only babies use a ladder. Next, we play hide and seek. I hide so well that my friend won't ever find me. We like to play with my racing cars. They don't work very well in the water though. We like to play basketball too. I could get the ball if I really tried. Next, we play with my new baseball and my Louisville Slugger bat. My friend likes to hit the ball, but he doesn't like to chase it. Then, we have a jump rope contest. My friend jumps 100 times. I could do that, but sometimes I like to let my friend win. We swing on my swing set too. Next time, we will swing on separate swings. We take turns playing daredevil on my new bike. My friend tries to stand on the seat. It's only bent a little. I bet Dad can fix it when he gets home. My mom takes care of our cuts and bruises. My friend cries a lot. I only cry a little. After we finish playing, we pick up my toys and put them away. My friend says he will put away the comic book. My dad. He's alright. My dad. My dad isn't afraid of anything, even the big, bad wolf. He can jump right over the moon and walk on tightrope without falling off. He can wrestle with giants or win the father's race on sports day easily. He's alright, my dad. My dad can eat like a horse, and he can swim like a fish. He's as strong as a gorilla and as happy as a hippopotamus. He's alright, my dad. My dad's as big as a horse and as soft as my teddy. He's as wise as an owl and deft as a brush. He's alright, my dad. My dad's a great dancer and a brilliant singer. He's fantastic at football, and he makes me laugh a lot. I love my dad, and you know what? He loves me, and he always will. The end.
Little Beauty by Anthony Brown. Once upon a time, there was a very special gorilla who had been taught to use a sign language. If there was anything he wanted, he could ask his keepers for it by using his hands to sign. It seemed that he had everything he needed. But he was sad. One day, he signed to his keepers, "I want a friend." There were no other gorillas at the zoo. At first, the keepers didn't know what to do. Then one of them had an idea. They gave him a little friend called Beauty. "Don't eat her," said one of the keepers, but the gorilla loved Beauty. He gave her milk and honey, and they were happy. They did everything together. They were happy for a long time, until one night they watched a film together. The gorilla became more and more upset, and then very angry. The keepers rushed in. "Who broke the television?" said one. "We'll have to take Beauty away now," said another. The gorilla looked at Beauty. Beauty looked at the gorilla. Then she started to sign. "It was me. I broke the television." Everyone laughed. And do you know what happened? Beauty and the gorilla lived happily ever after.
다음으론 백설공주란 책을 영어로 읽어보겠습니다. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Once upon a time, a beautiful queen had a baby girl. The baby's skin was as white as snow, and she had beautiful black hair. The queen called her Baby Snow White. But soon, the queen died, and the king married again. The new queen was beautiful, but she was very wicked. She had a magic mirror. Every day she asked it, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And every day the mirror said, "You, queen, are the fairest of them all." Snow White grew up and she looked more beautiful every day. One day, when the queen went to her mirror, it said, "Snow White is the fairest of them all." The queen was very angry. She didn't want to live with anyone more beautiful than herself. She called her huntsman and said, "Take Snow White into the forest and kill her." So the huntsman took Snow White into the forest. They went on and on all day, but he could not kill her. She was too beautiful. "Run away," he said. "The queen wants to kill you. You must never come back. If you do, you will die." Snow White ran away into the forest. Soon, she came to a little house. She couldn't run away anymore, so she opened the door and went in. In the house, she saw a table with 7 little chairs. Then she saw 7 little beds. "These beds are so little," said Snow White. "Whoever could sleep in them?" Snow White was so tired that she went to sleep on beds. Soon, the little man who lived in the house came back. There were 7 dwarfs who worked in the mines. They saw Snow White sleeping. "What is this beautiful girl doing in our house?" they asked. Suddenly, Snow White woke up. Who are you? Said Snow White.
We are the 7 dwarfs, said the biggest of the dwarfs.
Snow White told them that the wicked queen wanted to kill her and that she had run away. The dwarfs looked at one another. Then the biggest of the dwarfs said,
You must stay here. You will be safe in this house.
The dwarfs told Snow White that she must never talk to anyone who came to the door. Back at the castle, the queen went to her mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? She asked, and the mirror said, Snow White is the fairest of them all. The queen was very angry. She put on some old clothes and went into the forest. There she found the little house. The dwarfs were out at work, so the queen knocked on the door.
Do you want to see my beautiful ribbons?
She asked. Snow White opened the door to look at the ribbons. At once, the queen put a ribbon round Snow White's neck so that Snow White could not breathe. When the dwarfs came back and found Snow White, they took the ribbon off and put her to bed. Soon she woke up. They told her that she must never open the door to anyone ever again. But the next time the queen looked into the mirror, it said, Snow White is the fairest of them all. The queen was very angry again.
I will kill Snow White once and for all, she said.
Once again, the queen put on old clothes and went to the little house. This time she had some beautiful combs. When she came to the house, she knocked on the door. The dwarfs told me not to talk to anyone who comes to the door, said Snow White. Then I will put a comb by the door and go, said the queen. When the queen had gone, Snow White took the comb and put it in her hair. The comb had poison on it, and Snow White fell asleep. When the dwarfs came back, they looked after Snow White and made her well again. The queen didn't go to her magic mirror for some time, but then one day she asked the mirror, Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? And the mirror said, Snow White is the fairest of them all. The queen was angrier than ever. She went out to find Snow White one last time. Snow White was making the beds. This time the door was open a little and Snow White saw a woman with some apples. A beautiful apple for a beautiful girl, said the woman. Snow White went to the woman and took an apple. As soon as Snow White bit the apple, she fell and died. When the dwarfs came back, they tried to help her, but it was too late. Snow White could not be woken. The dwarfs were very sad. After a time, they put Snow White in a glass coffin on a hillside. She looked as if she was sleeping. One day, a prince came by. He saw Snow White lying in the coffin and fell in love with her. The prince opened the glass coffin and kissed the Snow White. The kiss woke her. She saw the prince and fell in love at once. Will you marry me? Asked the prince. I will, said Snow White. Very soon, Snow White and the prince were married, and everyone came to see. The wicked queen was there too. When she saw Snow White, she was so angry that she ran away and was never seen again. And Snow White and the prince and all the 7 little dwarfs lived happily ever after. This is the end of the story. Good night, little ones. Have a sweet dream.